This week's episode of the Indian Dots podcast, what have we discussed? I can't remember. Karan, please tell me.
Pre-workout, not good for you or your heart.
Right, pre-workouts ain't good for you. What else did we discuss?
I got sketches.
Huh?
Sketches.
Oh yeah, Karan's wearing sketches now. He's
Crepes.
really cool.
I've got
I'm a Venla banda
Crepes.
for the week. Karan doesn't know what crepes are.
Single man.
I'm not single. Karan also has spoken in depth about, what did you discuss? Dealing with toxic family members. That's also really important. So forward towards the end if you want to check that out. And I think that is everything.
Is medicine overrated?
Oh yeah,
How
is
can
medicine
you
overrated?
create an income?
That took us in a random direction, by the way.
Great though.
So we
Thanks for the
got to
question.
deal with that.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, open-ended questions. You can take them where you want. You got to be creative with it.
Yeah.
Sound good?
Sounds
Sweet. All right, catch you
San
guys
Fernando's.
there. Let us know your thoughts. Much love. Check it out. Laters. What's up, people? Welcome to this week's episode of the Indian Doctor podcast. And I got to open with the standard question. Really pressing, really important. What's happening, Doctor?
You know what it is.
What's happening?
What's happening is good, man. I'm happy. We're live back in person. There's just something else, guys, about doing a podcast in person, and the time will come when all of our podcasts will be in person, in a studio, maybe in an arena near you. But before we get to that, let's just let's bring ourselves back down. I can see you getting excited. I'm getting super excited here. It's good. We're gonna go for a Nando's after this. It's just happy vibes, man.
Can I pause you on that?
You can
Remember
pause.
how way back in the day when we were starting the podcast and
Go.
you were like, oh yeah, I don't know, man.
About-
This in-person thing, I can't commit to more than like once a month. And then I gradually got you to once a week. And then now I've got you
to
to
the
do it.
podcast, doing it once a week.
And now I've got you to do it in person. And now you want to do more in person. I feel like slowly, I'm getting you to warm up to all these ideas. And I am not just a mad scientist. Like I genuinely do have rationale behind my thoughts.
Yeah, I think for me, now that we're X number of episodes in now, getting close to that magic number, 3-figure 100,
Yeah.
it just feels good, man. And, I was telling somebody at work the other day that, I talk about on my other content about the value of journaling, right? And just whatever's in your head, get it on paper. The podcast basically is live journaling.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I've got to. And it's just a really nice therapeutic thing. And whether, people do this for a podcast they put out or they're just doing it with someone each week, it's a good thing to do. So I'm definitely enjoying the process, and I like to see it growing. We've had a couple of videos go, I'd say like maybe semi-viral, a little viral, whatever you want to call it.
I mean, viral by our standards, man.
Yeah,
Right?
well,
anything beyond like a couple hundred views, I'm like, yes, made it.
well, I
Made it. Right.
I was looking at some of the old content today, when you scroll, guys, right back to the start. And, we had videos we were posting as reels, which had no title, no text, basically, and nothing. And, they get like 50 views. And now, we're consistently doing between 500 and 1,000 with our, I think.
What's funny is you got time for this, but you ain't got time to like do anything else.
No. Do you know what it is?
I'll sit here and
Yeah.
I'll say, Karan,
Yeah.
what are we talking about today? He's like, oh, I haven't had time to do this, this, and this.
Yeah.
But he's got time to sit on the toilet and look through our old Instagram and
Just love
say,
it. I love it.
I like that. Yeah. Look at this. Look at the trajectory, right? And I'm like, Karan, how about the trajectory of this week's episode?
Yeah,
right.
yeah. I'm a performer, man. I just come and perform, right? And minimum tiyari. I do tiyari, and I think what's nice about
What's that tiyari?
Tiyari means preparation, guys. So
Ooh, Punjabi word of the week.
you didn't know that, or you just?
I didn't actually know that.
Oh right, yeah. Tiyari means preparation. So imtihan ya tiyari karya karo. For the exam, imtihan you should prepare. Fail to prepare, prefer to fail.
Oh,
you know that. You know
Punjabi
that.
meaning.
That standard thing. That yeah.
There we go.
What was I saying? Yeah, basically, it's if I have like a quick break, I just like seeing what numbers we're doing, and the content visually looks so good now. We've had some great feedback from one of our mentors.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. It was really nice with him, man.
Shout out to Raj. For those you don't know, Raj has been on our podcast before.
Yeah, he has.
He's big in this space. He's personally friends with Gary Vee, so to receive such a big compliment from him.
And he's got his own
Respect.
podcast. Check it out, the Raj Kotecha Show. It's based on business insights around the world, content that is updated with up-to-date algorithms and information based on the world of TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, etc. And he runs a few episodes with guests as well. Super insightful. And he's got that hustler's mentality that everyone wants to have. He's the OG hustler whenever I think of the word hustle. So check him out, Raj Kotecha on Instagram. Check his podcast out as well. Continue.
Cool. So what's been happening? So I have been introduced and not induced. That's the wrong word. What do you say in wrestling? You know when someone's comes into the Hall of Fame, inducted. That's what I'm looking for, right? So I'm not in the Wrestling Hall of Fame, but I've been inducted into wearing Skechers, right?
The Skechers Hall of Fame.
Skechers Hall of Fame. So in the NHS, a lot of my staff, I see them wearing Skechers, mainly nurses. The main grind I have with Skechers.
Grind or gripe?
Yeah, gripe sounds right, doesn't it? Yeah, grind. Grind doesn't sound right, does it? The main gripe I have with Skechers is aesthetically, they don't look good, most of them. Like
they don't, but they're super comfy.
Right, we'll get to that. That's functionality, right? That's the usability. But
yes.
Looking at them, like I look at some people's Skechers and they're just horrible looking trainers. I know my mama's got some and they're like complete slide-ons and they're fine. You know, he likes them, but I would never wear that style. Very blocky and squarey. So those are my reservations. But everybody I speak to swears by, these are good, you're on your feet, da-da-da-da. So I've been wearing my Pegasus Nike trainers. So these, to give you a reference, these are the trainers that Ronaldo was wearing during... What year did they win the Euros?
Pegasus Nike trainers? Bro,
Yeah.
I don't even know this. Hang on.
Yeah. When did Portugal win the Euros? When he got injured and he was on...
I think.
He subbed off.
I think it was 2016 or 2018. No, hang on. The Euros were meant to be in 2020. The one that England competed in, that was in 2021. So it's 2016 Euros. Yeah, sorry.
2016. So just to give people
Pegasus
reference.
Nike trainers. I'm just Googling now. Carry on. Go on.
Yeah. So I had 3 pairs of those. So Shindy has this really good thing that she does where if something is good, pair of jeans, trainers been an example.
Goran, they're horrible, man.
Let me see. You got the right ones?
These?
No, that's not those. It's not those. They're downstairs. You've seen me wear them. Pegasus Zoom, I think they're called.
Yeah, Pegasus Zoom. There you go.
No, that's the new one, the old one. Just type 2016, maybe it'll come up on there. Really nice design, black and white, crisscrossed, with a bit of that kind of.
Oh,
green.
these ones. I know these ones. Yeah. I've seen you wear these a lot.
Yeah.
They're not as bulky on the bottom.
They're not as bulky.
Yeah.
They're really nice. I've still got a pair downstairs. So this is my 3rd pair now, and they're starting to fall apart a little bit. So I was around my brother-in-law Kenny, and I do this thing to annoy him sometimes, where I show him my things are disintegrating, and he's got this thing about my frugality, and he's like, "Mate, look, you make good money. You should have more than 1 pair of trainers." So to this point, I have 1 pair of badminton trainers, indoor sports, and I have this 1 pair of trainers. I don't need it for anything
You wear
else.
them all the time, in fairness.
Wear them to work, wear them to casual things, wear them to gym.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He's like, I need some trainers. So we go to Cannock. So on the weekend, we went to Shugborough Hall. Really nice. You should check it out.
I've been there as a kid. I haven't been in a long
That's it.
time.
We went as a kid with school. So we
Yeah.
went there for Mum's kind of birthday
I don't know
weekend.
why schools took us there, though.
Probably to learn about simpler times and you just, I don't know,
Maybe.
admire things. And it's got a farm. Maybe it was the animal side of things.
Okay.
But great day. The summer's out. Had some cracking food, all, local produce, went walking. And we were near Cannock and everyone was like, impromptu, should we go Cannock?
Yep.
Now, I've only been to Cannock once. It's kind of like West Midlands, Bicester. It's not as high end.
That's a real overstatement, but yeah.
It's not as premium. It's not as big. It's not as busy.
So
but it's the same
basically,
sort of layout.
It's just an outlet-like area.
The only 2 outlets I've ever been to in the UK are Bicester and this one. And so I've only been there for food. But this time, I was like, okay, actually, do you want to get some Skechers? Went there and went through a few pairs and actually found a pair which visually is nice, to the point where a doctor at work was like, Jazz, where did you get these? I like Skechers, but they're really ugly, but your pair is really cool. I'll show you them downstairs. Nice navy blue pair. I've also, for the first time ever, got a pair of all white trainers.
You never bought a pair of all whites ever?
No, it's like Shindy's really into them. Dino, who've had on, he's really into white trainers. And I feel like people who are into white trainers swear by white trainers. I've never been that person, so I didn't really understand the appeal. But these are kind of like what I feel kind of like a Nadal or Djokovic would wear. So like white with a tinge of red.
Do you have Crep Protect?
I don't know what that is.
Right, Crep Protect is what you put on your trainers to stop them from getting wrecked. So with like mark stains, etc.
Yeah.
So every time you go out, you spray this spray on it. It's called Crep Protect, CREPE, Protect. It's
I feel like you're saying,
spray.
the thing you eat, crepe.
It's spelt the same way. So yeah, it is, right?
Yeah.
But people call trainers crepes as well. That's why.
What?
Swear to God.
What?
How don't you
This
know
is like your clothes horse again. Which land, which country?
Did I not tell you about Clothes Horse?
What?
I sent that
you told
clip
me.
in the group. Yeah, exactly. I sent a clip in the group. James O'Brien, my favorite guy in the world, right? LBC, listen to him.
Yeah.
And he said Clothes Horse.
Right.
And I was like, thank you, Goran, sit down, end of conversation,
Validated.
I win.
Indy's
Zip
been
the gear.
Indy's,
Thank you.
Indy's been validated.
Thank you. Anyway, Crep protect. So crep is like
Sorry, which country did they use this word?
what?
Like I've heard sneakers for trainers.
Crepes.
Yeah,
I've heard it used in slang terms,
in England.
but I don't know how often it's used
In
in
England?
Yeah.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
Fine. I've learned something new today, guys.
Anyway,
You've learned something new
crep
today.
protect. It's like a purple and black spray. You spray your trainers 10 minutes before going out. It sits and it just sets in. So it protects it from rain and staining.
Any trainer, or are you specifically talking about white trainers?
Mainly any trainer. I don't know how good it is in suede, but I don't have suede trainers, so I don't have that problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, spray that up, sorted, done.
Interesting.
Life hack. That way your trainers look like they last forever.
You and Sanj do this, don't you?
All the time.
Oh, wow.
And
Ritual,
it
habit.
now lets me wear my nice trainers in winter when I'm obviously shitting it, thinking my trainers are going to get wrecked.
How much?
You can buy a bottle of it for like £7.
Sorted. Amazon.
Amazon, wherever. ASOS, anywhere.
Oh,
I bought it.
Love it. Yeah.
I bought it from ASOS in the past. Anytime I bought something in bulk, I just add it on.
Because it's free.
Because it's like if you've gone over the threshold for free delivery, bam, done.
Makes sense. Okay, so I've been wearing now for a few days the non-white Skechers, and honestly, my feet feel really good. I don't understand, but it's like they're super light. There's loads of padding, like you said, and I'm like, it's like my feet are floating. So yeah, I don't know why I resisted for so long. I mean, there was a time, Indy, where I would wear Toms to work, to do medical work.
You know, Toms like aren't good for your feet at all.
Toms have nothing.
Yeah, I know they don't.
They're like walking.
You may as well have been walking around barefoot.
Exactly right. But this was when I was like, I want to be cool when I'm at work, right? So I had my chinos and my Toms on and fitted
How
shirts.
comfortable was that?
No, it was not comfortable at all. But I looked cool. And then I was like, this work is not about looking cool. You need to feel comfortable. Like, I'm cool up here. When I speak to the patients and my staff, they know what's happening, right? So I don't need to impress them anymore. Maybe when I was a junior doctor. But yeah, comfort number one. So Skechers. Thumbs up from me. Yeah.
I'm very impressed. Congratulations. Welcome on board for expanding your training range. I'm very proud of you.
Got 3 now.
I still think I will get you a pair of barefoots. I swear to God, and you will wear them.
I'm happy to try
at some
them.
point. You should try
No,
them.
I'm happy
very
to try
good.
them. So what's been happening with you?
I'm a free man. I'm free this week.
Guys, we all thought this would happen at some point.
Oh yeah, sorry. I should take my ring off in it.
Yeah. Marital issues are quite common,
Yeah.
and if you don't put in the work, Indy, and I told you this, right? Marriage is not a joke, team.
Yeah.
People, it's not a joke. You got to put in the
Yeah.
work. Getting together easy, breaking up easy, maintaining relationship takes work.
Getting
right?
together ain't easy. Let's not overstate that.
Easier than maintaining. Maintaining a relationship so you don't become roommates
Yeah.
takes work, guys. Just because this is the first thing I learned after 1 year of marriage. Just because you live together does not mean you're spending time together.
Exactly.
Completely two different things.
Now-
Anyway, we're obviously joking. Indy and Sanjay
She hasn't
together.
left me. And it's really clear.
Yeah. Go.
She's gone on holiday,
Right.
so I am free for this
You're
week.
here.
Hence why I'm here, right, in person, because I'm free to do the podcast. Saw my parents yesterday because they've flown out to go on holiday as well.
Wait.
So everyone's gone.
It's not India. It's a wedding.
It's a wedding.
It's America.
It's America.
Yeah.
He listens. Thank you. So yeah, they've gone. My brother and my bubby aren't here. They're abroad.
Same wedding or?
No, they're abroad because it's my bubby's birthday.
Nice.
So they've gone, and I'm like,
Wait,
no one here.
sister.
She is here. Yes.
Right.
She is
Okay.
here.
Okay.
I have some family to feed me and make sure that I'm nourished. Yeah.
Oh,
No.
wow. Wait, where are you staying this week?
Home. Well, mum's
Oh, yeah, but just on your own.
vendor. That's it.
I'm going to make sure those uncles come around and see you at 11 o'clock. Kamani karta? Tu 100 tu? You waking now?
If you came around the house today at 11, I was in the shower. So
Oh,
probably,
see,
there you go.
baal to hi janda hai na.
Yeah.
Washing
So
your-
anyway,
Ah.
Sanj isn't here, so I am free this week, and I'm like, tell me all the things that like guys think of that they can do when they have all this free time.
Just clarify then. So since marriage, is this the first
It's
time?
the
you've
first
had a
time I've been
period
left
of-
like unattended,
Right.
unsupervised.
So I had periods of this. And I have found you just kind of end up going to kind of pre-marriage version of yourself. So for me, that's like I binge a lot of TV basically.
Yeah.
I'll meet up with a lot of guy friends.
Yeah.
Those are the main two things I do. What about you? What are your thoughts on
So
this
I'm
week?
thinking catch up on a little bit of TV, a little bit, not too much. Go to the gym whenever I want, which is nice.
As opposed
'cause
to
you
you.
can flex. Like normally you have to structure it around like spending time with someone in the evening
Got it.
because you want to spend some time with your wife. Not you have to, but
He wants to. He wants to, guys. Here
You
the
want to.
keywords here.
Keywords, trigger words. Anyway,
Yeah.
so yeah, that's nice. And then I'm thinking, oh, okay, I can read some stuff. I can just wake up and just do nothing. Obviously, I'm not going to do that. I've got loads of shit to do, right? But yeah, it's good to get ahead and catch up on things that I've got like a list of things that I want to do. Like I sat there and said, like, I want to read up on this. I want to watch this. I want to do that. I want to go and see this person. I want to do this. And I'm like, oh, I can now do all these things. And now my days are becoming full.
Stacking, yeah?
They're stacking.
Oh, yeah.
See, I'm telling you, that's the thing.
Yeah.
They're all becoming full now, full of stuff to do. So I'm like, wicked. It's nice.
But do make sure, yeah. I mean, there is something to be said about alone time. We talked about it, quiet time for men, right?
Quiet time
for men. Really important. Just not doing anything, just being in your element and do whatever you want to do or not do.
See, I have a problem with this, Karan. I can't unwind. I always think there's something more for me to do. I'm always like, what else can I do for this? What else can I do for the podcast? What else can I do today to make it like a win? What else can I do here? Who can I call while I'm doing something?
No,
like, I always think more. I never think stop and chill. I really struggle with it.
It depends on the definition of chill. My definition of chill, like yours, what it sounds like, is not doing anything. There might be small periods of that, but just remember, don't confuse being busy with being productive. The two different things.
It's true. Hence why I have a list of things I want to do, so it's productive. So I'm getting rid of stuff off a list.
Yeah. But even like, the famous Bruce Lee, like he couldn't sit still, and there are videos of him watching TV while stretching and bicep curling a weight.
Yeah.
He's always thinking, what can I do? And to be honest, a lot of people now, Shindy's the same, man. Like, even if we're watching a TV program, she's on a phone doing something else at the same time. It's very rare that we give something our full attention unless we go to cinema and when she does actually watch it. That's probably the reason why she likes going to cinema, because she knows she has to watch it, give it full attention. She can't leave halfway.
I think a lot of people like that. They're like, oh, I have to sit here and give it my full. I can't get up and just go and grab something or go to the loo. Well, I can, but obviously it's ball late because you can't press pause.
Yeah.
Like all these things, you're like, oh, okay, I have to really commit to going.
Makes you mindful, isn't it? Makes you there and you get it done. And a lot of people have said this about, not working at home. So they go and hot desk somewhere like in a hotel or lobby.
No, it's nice. It is nice.
I've done it a few times when I work with medics. If I get there early to the hotel, my God, my productivity, just knowing that there's nothing else to do. There's nothing else I can do.
But I also think of it as like a timer.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, I've got a certain period of time allotted here that I have to get a lot done. So I try and make it into like, I kind of gamify things.
Yeah.
So if I've got a bunch of stuff to do, I'm like, okay, I'll do this in 20, this in 30, this in an hour, here and there back. And I'm like running to do it. But when I get back, I feel like I've won, even though I've not really won at anything. I've just done it.
It's just how you framed it in your head.
That I have to gamify things because that's the only way I get things done.
But it's good. It frames things. Yeah,
but exactly. I'm extreme, Karan. You know me. I'm like 100 or like 0. There is no like middle for me. I really struggle to get in like the 40s and 50s. I'm like, bam, all in or all out.
Yeah. Good thing is in the podcast you're all in.
For now.
Which is fine. It's fine. I'm just going to have to mute the WhatsApp group.
You wish. So yeah, any recommendations, people? Obviously, by the time you see this, my wife is she'll be back home, so not going to make a difference. But she's going again in a month's time because she's busy.
What?
But me, I will be free. So
again,
guys, let me know what things you would do if your missus wasn't there, and what you would do in your spare time to chill and pass time, enjoy life, whatever. Give me a shout. I might give them a go. Sound good?
And if you're free and you want to meet up Indy, then just meet up.
Or that, well. And also like, comment, share, subscribe. Thank you. All right, next segment. Okay, in the break of the podcast. Obviously, guys, I'm looking at my phone a lot, during this podcast.
It's very antisocial.
I have to check how long each segment is for editing purposes.
Yeah.
And Karan said, "Oh, I got a timer. I got a timer for you. Don't worry." I was like, "All right, cool. Pass it here then." Karan, do you want to show everyone your timer? This ties into Confessions of a Married Man, by the way.
Problem now, like the mic is set, I'll have to move, and okay, it's easy for you to jump to demonstrate.
There you go.
So, guys, this is a really cool timer.
Yeah.
It only goes in one direction, so it counts down.
No. Go on. You
want me to demonstrate? So
please do demonstrate.
So if I turn it right, so I've set that now to 9 minutes 45 seconds, and you just press this little thing here, and it makes a nice little sound. And counts down, and it's just
right.
It's got such a nice interface, and I'm not going to keep speaking, so Indy can't speak.
So I said, Karan, that's great. Does it count up? Because I'm trying to film how long the segment is.
Right.
And he was like, yeah, fiddling with it, and he's like, actually. It just counts down. And he said, but look at this, 17 minutes and 35 seconds, it's counting down.
Yeah.
I said, Karan, fantastic. How many times have you used this?
Once.
Right, there you go. Thank you. Was it worth the money?
£15.
So, Mr. Frugal,
Yeah.
Was that worth
This
the money?
was a moment of weakness.
This was
Their
a dumb
marketing,
moment of
right?
weakness.
Their Facebook pixeling targeting was just so good. I just kept seeing it, right? Like, they kept retargeting me. And they're like, productivity, you need this thing, right? And obviously, my application for this was obviously not podcast. It was medics. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Because, you've done the scenarios with us when we run it with actors.
But you've never used that in medics.
We've just got it.
Use the big one.
This would be on the table. The big one is the central one. Obviously, see, this is what we do, by the way, guys. We buy things on impulse, and then we invent ways to use them, rather than actually buying for need.
But I've also sat there and seen you use your phone as an alarm that goes off in 17 minutes when the segment's about to finish in medics.
Absolutely, this just looks a lot sexier.
Right? Yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah.
Now, I am a super frugal guy.
Uh-huh.
It's been a very long time since I've had what we call a
impulse purchase.
That's the word. Yeah. See, I don't know the word because I don't do it.
Of course. Yeah.
Right?
Of course.
Shindy does all of that. I don't do any of this.
Don't blame your wife for your mishaps.
She's the impulse buyer.
What other impulse shit have you bought? This is a good segment. What other impulse shit have you bought?
I'd have to think about it. It's just not. I don't have that.
Clearly, there's not very many.
Yes.
So there's got to be some things you've bought, used once, and never used again.
Yeah, I'd have to think about it.
Well, think about it.
I can't think about it live.
You can't think about it live.
It's not. I'd have to go through my Amazon history. The thing with me is I am what we call a self-coined term, hyper optimizer. Right? So I will work out 0.5%, 1% hacks for a situation. For example, not often, seldom times, a few times, I will need to eat in my car. Right? In the car, like having a sandwich.
Are you eating and you're driving at the same time?
No. I've parked up. So an example of this would be, I've done my PT session on Monday. We've got fencing, me and Jamie. In between, need to have a quick snack, sandwich. Right? In the car. So I'm like, what is the best way to clean my hands? Okay. So like you go to KFC, McDonald's. Well, actually, it's not
you
McDonald's.
have
KFC.
like a wet wipe.
Little wipe, the little one that comes in a little packet. I bought 1,000.
You bought 1,000 of them.
£5. As in, I didn't buy 1,000.
That is excessive behavior.
£5.
I don't give a shit.
I didn't
1,000.
It's the lowest that came in that.
How many have you used?
10.
You've used 10.
Yeah.
How long have you bought this? How long ago did you buy this?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. You used 10.
Yeah. Now, I will get through. I mean, that's 1,000 will last my whole life. There's no problem.
You could just use hand sanitizer like a normal human being and just be like, this is perfect.
Yeah, I don't like hand sanitizer. I get a lot of cracks. This is my problem with hand sanitizer.
Oh my god.
Because then I have to moisturize as well. But I found with the wet wipe,
then why don't you just put the hand sanitizer on and moisturize 5 minutes later? Hand sanitizer, by the way, you carry in your bag all the time.
Do I?
Yeah, you do. You or Shindy carry it in your bag.
Shindy,
So you're going to have it in your car then if you're eating in the car.
It's me. She's not there. I don't carry it in my car.
So you don't keep any hand sanitizer in the car?
I do for other people. I don't use it because of the cracking situation.
But it is in your car.
It is in my car.
So you could use it.
Good. But the wet wipe.
So your hyper optimizing right now has just been ridiculed.
No, not ridiculed. I have a preference for the way I clean my hands, right? But
Give it a rest.
Let me give you another example, right? So now you're on this topic, right? So on a long hospital shift, when I go to the break room to have my food or whatever time that might be, in the day when I'm doing medical work, seeing patients, typing, I'll have music playing. I like to have music playing, right? Just like instrumental. That obviously drains my battery, right? So then I get to the room, I want to watch something on Netflix while I thingy. I don't like taking my AirPods to work. Don't lose them, so I use a wide connection. Okay. Obviously with the iPhone, the jack gets used up, and then how do you charge it? So now I've got a dual thing that plugs into the
You told me this in the past.
USB Lightning.
And I told you should have just got the mag charger on the back.
Yeah, I don't like that.
But again, the mag charger is what's going to happen in the future. You know that, right?
It's fine. Let that future come. I love wired things.
But you understand that Apple were going to get rid of the wire at the bottom now.
Yeah. If it goes, once it goes, it goes.
Which ties into another thing I wanted to say, because they've been lawed by the EU. Sorry, that they've had an enforced law pushed upon them to say you need to change the USB-C because Apple doesn't.
Oh, to USB-C.
They need to change.
Yeah. I mean, they've got it on their other products.
But
Mac.
But their argument at the moment is we're too far down. We're 13 iPhones in, and they all have. Well, not 13. I think it's about like 4. From the iPhone 4 onwards, they changed it to the Lightning cable. Right. So like we're 11 iPhones in now. It's too late. We've gone down this road. It's too late. But now they're being forced to do it. So what they're probably going to do is cut off the bottom. Yeah. What's it called? The bottom Lightning port. Jeez, that's a lot. That's a mouthful.
Very technical.
The bottom Lightning port. They're going to get rid of that. Put the MagSafe on the back, and that's it. So everything's going to be MagSafe charging now. So the bottom of your iPhone is just going to be clean.
And
There'll be
speakers.
nothing there.
Just
And speakers. That's it.
Yeah. No, fair enough. I mean, time will come. And
I just can't believe for a hyper-frugal guy you've been exposed right now, man, in 4K. This is filming in 4K, so you have been exposed in 4K.
Remember the definition of frugality, though.
Yeah.
Spend on
Yeah.
what is important to you.
Yeah.
Frugal is not buying anything.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Right. The third thing I have, this got exposed when I was with doing a live with Sunny internet connection. You can obviously only Instagram live from a iPhone, from a phone. You can't do it from a desktop. So I have a USB-C to Ethernet for my iPhone.
You mean Ethernet?
Ethernet.
Ethernet.
You say Ethernet?
Ethernet.
Bro, it's Ethernet, man. All day.
Ethernet.
Who says Ethernet?
Every human being on the planet.
Ethernet, man.
Your wife has a hand up in the corner. She says Ethernet.
She can say whatever she wants. It's Ethernet, man. Like it's just,
she also understood the word crepe as well for trainers.
Well, that's
I feel like me and Shinty have our ear to the ground about what the
Sanj,
general public is saying.
I really miss you. Please come
Sanj
back.
is based in
I
London.
really miss you.
She understands what
Please
crepes are, and she also
understands me. Okay.
Ethernet cable.
Ethernet. Right,
My
guys.
God.
Let's put this out to you. Do you call it Ethernet or Ethernet? I feel like this is a situation that we have when it comes to I might as well ask you this now. Right. Say this medical drug. Ready? You're a pharmacist. You got pharmacists in your family, so you may know this. Right. CLOP.
Citalopram.
No. CLOP.
CLOP.
IDO.
IDO.
GREL.
Can you show me it, please? That's too many letters for me to try and piece
just
together in my head.
type in your phone.
Okay, come on, let's do this live. Come on. Okay. Start again, Karen.
CLO.
CLO.
Pedo.
Pedo.
PIDO.
PIDO.
It should come up now. GREL. GREL.
Yeah.
GREL.
GREL.
Oh, I think you typed into Google. Okay.
That's how you want me to spell it.
Yeah, that's a correct spelling. Say that word. That drug.
Karen, this is a medical term.
Yeah.
Why would you expect me to understand this?
Just say it.
Why would you expect me to say this?
Say it.
Clopidogrel.
Yes! Dickhead. Clopidogrel, mate. Not Clopidogrel. There's no dogs here.
Clopidogrel.
Where's the dog come from? Can you see a dog here?
It just say dog in the word.
Oh, bloody
and if
dog.
you break it down into syllables.
You pedo.
Oh,
pedo. You want to say pedo, don't you? Clopidogrel. Yeah, Clopidogrel.
Clopidogrel.
Say it again. Clopidogrel. Practice with me.
Goran, this is great. How does that help my life? When I'm talking to a random person on the street, I'm like, nice crepes.
1 second.
They understand.
How does it help your life?
By the way, when you plug
because
something
one
into
of
your
us
computer,
on this couch.
it's called a what's it called? It's called a Ethernet cable, right?
Ethernet.
So when I call IT support, hello, IT support, yeah, IT, yeah. Can I get an Ethernet cable? They'll be like, what? Ethernet cable. Oh, you mean Ethernet cable? No, Ethernet cable. Are you going to die in the same at that moment, or are you going to change your words to get the IT support to come and sort things out?
What's a food pipe called medically?
I don't know. What's it called?
Esophagus. But you're the guy who was esophagus.
No, that is an esophagus.
Yeah,
because Kanye
esophagus.
Because Kanye West said in one of his rhymes, "Now I bruise her esophagus,"
which is interesting because Americans don't call it esophagus. They call it.
There you go, mate.
Esophagus.
You called it. That's from Monster.
Yeah.
Great album, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
Why is clopidogrel important to you? Because you're probably going to be in it at some point.
Why? What is it?
It's a blood thinner. It's like
why do I need blood thinners?
No, I said at some point.
Why am I going to need it at some point?
Well, one of us is going to need it. It's probably
you, bro. It ain't going to be me.
You're the one with all the IBS issues in there. So.
There you go. Sure.
What was I going to say?
That was really enjoyable. I really enjoyed that, guys. I'm glad you were here to join me on that journey for that. Yeah. Thank you. Should I talk about my confession now and take?
No, I was going to say something to you now, but you made me lose my chain of thought, man. I got really angry there, didn't I? About the dog. Oh, yeah, just a little side story. So when I was 50, a medical student, part of our exam was basically to show us an X-ray, and you have a consultant there who basically grills you on the X-ray, right? So he said, "Please tell me what's on this X-ray." So you looking at the TV, Indy, so look at the TV right there, right? That's where the X-ray was up. Let's say, and the first thing I said was, the lung fields appear clear, right? So there's two lungs, right and left. Your right has 3 lobes, and your left has 2 lobes, right? Whenever you're talking about an X-ray, and I teach my students this now, you should talk about zones. There's three ways to talk about your lungs when you're describing them: zones, lobes, fields, right? This cheeky bugger, when I said the fields are clear, said, "Fields? Can you see any cows on that image?" And I was like, "What?" And you're in an exam, right? So there's like so much pressure, and you're just like, what's this man on about?
Why are you throwing me off with this?
Yeah,
right
like
now?
talking about cows. And then from that day, I was like, yeah, just don't talk about fields, man. Never talk about fields. And yeah, that's popped in my head now when we were talking about this whole
Never talk about fields. I
Completely
feel
right.
for you, man.
Yeah.
See what I did there? Fields.
Fields.
See, feel.
Right.
Anyway, thank
What's
you.
your gripe?
Right. What's mine? Digital hoarding. Digital hoarding. So,
Explain the term.
do you have a skybox?
I know where you're going with this.
Do you have a skybox?
I religiously delete other people's stuff. Right.
You do it. I do it. Do you have a skybox?
2 terabyte box.
Right.
Yeah.
Is it nearly full?
No, it's not actually.
Because my mum called me the other day and said,
ਚੱਲਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਪੁੱਤ ਮੇਰਾ ਟੀਵੀ ਫ੍ਰੀਜ਼ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ I pressed the red button to record ਸਾਰਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ
swear to God, she called me and she said, you know,
Wait.
you know, in the vid,
Oh my
I've got this. What did you just do?
Oh
You
my
break your timer.
timer that happened live on the podcast. That's not good, man.
That's
I
fantastic.
can't even see it. I can
That beep was like, that's it. All right,
God.
I'm done now. That's it, done.
No, great 15 pounds spent there. Is this you doing remote technical support for your mum?
This
or?
is remote technical support.
Oh yeah.
So mum
Here
called
we
me,
go.
and I love my mum.
Phone
Mum,
a video.
Mum, you know I love you.
Phone a
right?
video.
It's phone.
Okay.
She calls me in the vid because she's deaf. She says subtitles aren't working on my TV. I was like, oh okay. She said it was working yesterday. I said, I don't know, mum. Have you tried turning it on and off again? Because normally, genuinely,
most things.
it normally fixes it. She said, yeah, maybe. She said also, none of my recordings are recording, and I was like, Acha, okay. And she said, you know, I've got all these scheduled, but nothing's coming through. I said, Mum, when was the last time you cleared out the skybox? And she was like, yeah, maybe I should do that. I was like, yeah, I think you should, because the last time I cleared it out was when I had my ear operation. That was like 6 months ago.
Whoa, 6 months is not a long time to get it.
Yeah,
formatted.
but I cleared out some.
Not the whole thing.
But Mum's got Series Link on stuff. Like it just downloads stuff in bulk.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Which skybox do they have?
I don't know.
Q? Is it a new one?
Yeah,
Q?
yeah. Sky
Right.
Q.
Okay, fine. So my understanding, I mean, we don't watch that much Sky. I mean, a lot of us now just watch on-demand stuff. But even on Sky, the value recording now, because you can just watch everything on demand, you don't really
Not
need to do it.
necessarily. There's some things live, like let's say a rare film comes on TV, you can't get that on demand.
But I'm talking about the series. The series.
Yeah,
thing.
series it is, but
Yeah.
like rare film stuff you can't. So then she's going through it. I said, "What have you got?" She said, "Yes, I've got The Hobbit on here. I'm not really going to watch that, am I?" I said, "Mum, you're not going to watch it. Just delete it." She's like, "Okay." She really struggles to delete things.
As in physically pressing delete.
Like it. I think a part of it just makes her upset. Like, oh, I've got intentions of watching this, but that list gets so long. She's like, "No, leave it." For example, I do the same thing
With?
to a lesser extent.
With?
So I've got emails come through that are newsletters telling me about like the world, telling me about like financial news, just normal things.
Things you want to read.
And I want to read them, but I don't get time to read them because when you sit and read them, it's an investment of like about 5-10 minutes. And like when I get a spare 5-10 minutes, but you tend to get like a spare minute or two here and there.
Because you fill your time, doesn't it? Yeah.
So I'm like, shit, I've let that balloon up to 30 emails and I'm like, I need to get rid of like 15 of them now or like 20. And then I can go back to having a respectable amount and then maybe I can read through those. But everyone's guilty of this now. Digital hoarding's worse. Think about it. iPhone storages are getting bigger and bigger, aren't they? We had we back in the day, it used to be 16, 32, 64. Now it's 128 standard.
You're talking about the phone, man. But
I'm talking about gig.
Everyone does iCloud now, isn't
They
it?
do, but their phone's still massively.
Yeah, phone's
massively
massive,
stored.
but I mean, we're on 2 terabyte plans now.
Yeah, but it's
Google
still
Drive and...
But that's hoarding, man. Are you telling me you need that, really? Who has 2 terabytes of useful shit in their normal day-to-day life?
See, my Google Drive... I mean, I'm not at 2 terabytes, but there was a lot of stuff on there which...
See, I'm at 1
It's
terabyte,
useful.
but a lot of that is our recordings and stuff, and it's a lot of backups. That's what I use it for. But we're not like normal people who have like, for example, if you go on a night out, people take 100 photos.
Yeah.
60 or 70 of them are the same, but they just won't
Duplicates.
delete them.
Yeah.
How many times have you taken a photo, gone through it, and just been like, I don't like that. I like that particular one. Never.
So I have a ritual for this. So a lot of my stuff, which is like, let's talk about photos and videos, will go on my Google Drive anyway, not my phone. The second thing I do, and it normally is a thing I do before we take off from a plane or when we land. I just do it.
Oh,
That's
you
my
do it
time
in
to
bulk
do it.
on there.
Yeah, I
Thing
just
is,
go
man,
bang,
when
bang,
you
bang,
look
bang.
back at your phone, you're like, oh, this is like old memories you kind of sometimes don't want to go into. Like you see old family members, you're like, fuck's sake. All right, let's delete
Bloody hell,
that,
dude.
delete that. And
Is that
then
what
at
you think
the
we
end
see
of
old
it,
family
I'm
members?
like, I wish I didn't go down that pathway. Right? And people say this online. A lot of them say, I don't go through my pictures because it's like, oh, iPhone memories say, look, here's your memories. And you're like, great, look at this piece of trauma that happened to you like 6 years ago. That you were friends with this person.
With happy iPhone music.
Yeah. It's like happy music.
Ding,
and
ding,
you're
ding,
like,
ding, ding,
I don't want to
ding,
see
ding.
this. I don't want to see this at all. But let's play a quick game.
Go.
How many photos do you think I've got on my phone and videos? So give me the total number that you think
5,000.
I have. Huh?
5,000.
Close.
Okay.
4,500.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That's rounding up. 4,500.
Good.
Yeah.
That's quite
That's
nice.
a large amount. Guess how much storage I've got left on my phone? I got given a storage alert the other day, so I closed some stuff out.
We're talking gig?
Gigs.
Gigs left, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so 10 gig.
I have 16 gig left
16.
out of
which
128.
Which used to be an iPhone, didn't it? So
That's a lot of shit that I need to clear out.
Shit, man.
And I don't know how to clear it. So it's going to take me a while to clear that out.
Just do what we call a factory reset and just wipe
I'm not doing a
everything
factory
and you go
reset,
on to
man. Some
zero.
of these pictures are... I've started making albums of shit, like putting pictures into shared into like set albums. And I can pull that album
So
out.
we have a system for this now as well. Because
We
we do
Hoard optimization did them.
absolutely, man. It's about systems and processes, man.
Fun,
Right.
fun,
So
fun.
I mean, the key thing I love about Google Drive is you
The
can
photos aspect of it that pulls it in for you.
the endless folder system you can use to hyper organize things. But obviously, it's all searchable, which is great. Like I have a new thing I do now where if I go into a folder which has many folders, there'll be one or two folders which are more commonly used than not.
Yeah.
So that folder will be colored red. So for example, we're going on holiday, we're going Greece, right? So my holidays folder, I've got loads of holidays going on. Greece is the next one, that's in red. My eye goes straight there, don't need to think about it, don't need to control F.
Because that's your next one.
Or for example, say on our investment property, we've got compliance, right? So like the...
KYC, all that shit, background checks.
Yeah, not that. I mean, letting agent does that. What was I going to say? Yeah, the GSC, the gas safety or the electrical, so
All
whatever
the
it might be.
certificates.
So then when I go into that folder, and this is the same for any compliance, little tip for you guys, is I have a current folder and then I have a basically previous. Within the previous, you'll then have folders for years, 18, 19, 19, 20, 21, 22, whatever is example in previous. But then the current folder will have just this year's, the current compliance. That will be in red.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I get too excited when I talk about Google Drive. I
I
can't
can
remember.
tell, man. Look at this
I
guy.
love Google Drive, and I teach people how to use Google Drive and just optimize their life with
There
it.
we go.
It's just you should not. You don't really need to have anything in paper. Some things fine have in paper, but they should always be a digital copy.
Have
that
you never
can-
thought that if the world goes down and the internet goes down, do you never think I'm fucked?
No, it's on the cloud.
Yeah, and the cloud goes down too, bruv.
Yeah, rare chance. I mean, I'm not saying I don't have paper copies of these, important documents, but
I do sit and think about that though. I do sit and think if the world goes down, there's no internet tomorrow,
apocalypse. Yeah,
everything would stop.
yeah, it would. Then we go back to what we were doing before.
What
Start
papers,
farming, and,
writing it out,
kitty, and
Ketty work. Let's
that's
go.
it, man. No more podcasts.
Back to Punjab.
No one's gonna listen to this.
Oh
shit.
man, shit. No one's gonna do the podcast. Oh, I'll be sitting there in the corner rocking myself to sleep
Please.
every day. Bring it back.
Why did we start talking about Google Drive now?
Because you were talking about optimizations and we were talking about storage.
Shared
Storage on my
albums.
phone.
That's what I was going to say. Yes. So often, we go on lots of holidays and trips, right? And it's like, okay, I don't want. So, for example, my niece Ria. Okay, we celebrate birthday every year. It's like, so we got to a point where it's like, okay, Ria's 5th birthday, Ria's 6th birthday, Ria's 7th. They had each one had a different shared album. I was like, that's too messy, man. I can't have all these people I have in my life and have shared albums for each of their birthdays or whatever. Make it one album. Game changer. Ria's birthday. All the birthday stuff goes into that. Mom's birthday. All mom's birthday goes into that. One holiday. All the holiday stuff goes into that.
Look at this guy thinking that far ahead.
Yeah. Look at that.
Respect.
Did you read that?
I don't know why yours says greatness is a mindset individual Mac. Anyway,
There you go.
Goran
There
wants
you
subtle
go.
response. So for those who don't understand, we have two laptops here recording everything,
Yeah.
right? They both simultaneously went into screensaver mode because it's been bang on 20 minutes since we started this segment. His flagged up saying greatness is a mindset individual Mac. This guy is over the top. And on that note, I'm going to conclude this segment. Right. Okay, Goran, you got something to tell me about the dangers of something with the Dr. Chronicles this week. And what is dangerous, Goran?
There are many things which are dangerous in life.
Uh-huh.
There
Alcohol.
are many. Yes, alcohol being one of the paracetamol.
Paracetamol. was
Right.
another one.
I had another
Blood
one.
clots.
Blood clots. See, you learn
Blood pressure.
You learn blood pressure. You're learning so
Food
much.
poisoning.
Food poisoning. I mean, look, you're just quoting everything. I mean, I had a guy. We'll come to obviously what this is about today, but I was doing a health screening clinic. So this is something I do not in a hospital. So basically, a guy applying for a taxi license, okay, and blood pressure super high, man. So I'm talking. Remember we talked about normal numbers?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, top number is like 190.
Oh,
Yeah. Bottom number is like more than 100, and but he's asymptomatic, right? He has no symptoms. This is the thing, and I think I stressed it on that segment that blood pressure is a silent killer, and in developed countries, us, America, US, all these other places, it's chronic
we struggle
disease.
with
Chronic
keeping
disease.
blood pressure numbers under
Blood
control.
pressure, diabetes, obesity. These are the things that
Only
kill
in
us.
developed countries. Well,
Yeah.
not only, but it's more prominent.
It's more prominent because obviously in these other countries, infectious disease is still quite high, and people
Yeah.
are still dying of pneumonias. Man, I had a GP come to me yesterday and was like, "Oh, this guy's come from Spain, and he's got like worms coming out his bum, like parasitic worms."
What the fuck?
Yeah, I didn't even think to put that on the podcast. But I was just like, "No, you got to remember,
Oh my! Hang on, hold.
you're trying to process that, aren't you?
Oh,
Like it's in the poo. It's in the poo. Parasitic worms."
Oh my god!
Hi, kloppy dog de de menu. Hi.
What? Like, how do you
Yeah.
treat that?
Yeah, so use it's essentially you're going to use antiparasitic antibiotics.
Is it a tapeworm or something?
I don't know what it was. The GP came to me. She said, "What do you think?" I said, "Right, the patient obviously needs to come in. We need to speak to infectious disease." That was it. It's like, although, and remember, I'm essentially a general.
Practitioner.
No, that's a GP. I'm a generalist of acute medicine, so I know a lot about a lot of things. But there are some things just in the UK we don't see that often.
Did you ever watch House?
Yes.
So there's an episode of House where like he's going speed dating with a woman,
Okay.
and she says, "So you're a doctor?" He said, "Yeah." "So what do you do?" He said, "I'm a diagnostician."
Yep.
And she said, "What does that mean?" He said, "I diagnose patients."
Yeah.
And she said, "Isn't that what all doctors do?"
Yeah.
And he said, "Yeah, but they can't dance like I can." Like he was taking the piss because he's like, "Fuck you," basically, right?
Yeah.
And it's true. I was like, "Yeah, I understand that."
No, he has a good point actually. That is a really good point there. It's the bit about medicine that I actually enjoy is that it's the Sherlock Holmes. It's what is the diagnosis, because the other side of it is you got to perform or carry out the treatment.
Yeah.
Some people like that, they like to execute. For example, heart attack, blocked artery, put the stent in. Okay, so let me tell you how that plays out. Somebody presents at the front door meaning the first part of A&E, right? So via their ambulance or they walk in. I had a lady yesterday. She had a heart rate of 30. Okay, super low heart rate, feeling dizzy, nearly passing out. Did the ECG tracing of the heart. I was like, "Oh, you have complete heart block," right? Treatment for that, pacemaker.
Yeah.
Dub bar in your chest.
Yeah.
Rewire. Essentially what happens is in your heart you have 4 chambers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so 4 chambers, 2 at the top, 2 at the bottom.
Yeah.
2 ones at the top are what we call your atria,
Yeah.
and the 2 at the bottom we call your ventricles. Okay. Basic function of the heart is the top 2 fill up with blood, then they push that blood into the ventricles, then the ventricles push out blood to the rest of your body.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They have to work in synchrony. So the top contract, bottom relax, and then they contract while they relax. Has to be like this.
Yeah.
Okay. If that becomes dysynchronous, if the wiring goes off, that's a problem.
Because it's pushing out blood that ain't there.
Well, exactly. Or it's like that's
Or blood's going in
that's
and it's
and
not
it's just-
pushing out.
right? And so the reason why this lady is becoming dizzy is because at some points there's not enough blood coming out of the heart. Less blood comes out the heart, less blood pressure or lower blood pressure, not enough blood to the brain, dizzy, pass out. See, that's like really advanced medicine, which I've taught you in like 20 seconds.
Boom. And
Right.
that's going on TikTok. Anyway,
TikTok, baby.
Continue.
So and this isn't what I prepared for today for
No, it's
the
not.
Dr. Chronicle, but she had complete heart block, wiring gone, low heart rate, need a permanent pacemaker. I've made the diagnosis. That's the fun bit. I'm not the person who does a pacemaker. That's a cardiologist. Needs to go over. So I pick up the phone. "Hey, Beck," one of my cardiology nurses, or one of the cardiology nurses, sorry. Got this lady. She's got the symptoms. I've done the ECG. Come and look at it. I think it's complete heart block. We need to do this, this, and this. That's it sorted.
Karen, when that moment happens and
I
you,
feel
and
so
you realize
validated.
it, how happy do you feel?
And you know what? I've been a doctor for a while now, like coming up to my 10th year, and I still get the buzz, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it's like the more I do this, the more I realize, like, medicine is an art, man. And I was showing my juniors, like, they'll look at the same ECG and they can't see it. And it's like, it's not that I'm clever. It's just I've looked at a lot of these now, and I can hear. And in med school we get taught this thing, Indy, which is like when you speak to a patient, 90% of the diagnosis is in the history, what the patient tells you.
Yeah.
Well, what the patient tells you and the quality of the questions. If I ask you high yield questions, by that I mean if you're a new doctor, you might have to ask 50 questions to get the response you want.
Yeah, but also consider Gregory House. Everybody lies.
Everybody lies. Yes, that's
There you
also
go.
very important.
Never
Right? So you've got to
forget
ask
that.
the right question to get the right answer.
Yes.
Experience teaches you the best question to ask. So rather than 50 questions, maybe ask you 10 questions, I get the same thing quicker, right? All the rest, the other 10% of the diagnosis is the blood tests, is the x-rays, the da-da-da-da-da. 90% is that first bit. And I realize this now, but my acuity now for certain things, my interest is cardiology, everything to do with the heart, is more astute, I would say. Now that I'm working super frontline, meaning I'm the first or second touch point, I get to see these things. So yeah, absolutely got the buzz. And so yes, so my role there is diagnosis, not treatment. But love it.
See?
Anyway, it is cardiac related, the thing we're going to talk about today. So
Go
the
on.
dangers of pre-workout. Big craze at the moment, right? So, I mean, even in lockdown, I had a friend who was like, Jazz, try this pre-workout, right? He goes, you will feel like Spider-Man. You want to crawl up the wall. This is literally what he said. He goes, you go tingly.
Spider-Man.
He goes, you go tingly and like you have the spider sense.
You go tingly.
He goes, you'll want to climb up the walls, man. Like, he goes, you will like be like wired, right? And so I tried this shit, this blue shit. I don't know what it was, man.
Was it Eno explode?
I don't know, man. Like he made it up for me. Like he put it in my bottle or whatever, and then I made it with Barney water and drank it. And oh my God, right? Like that day, this is a while ago, like I benched 52.5, which was like, PB for me then. And I was like, oh my God, I'm just banging up these reps, man. I was like, I don't want this workout to end, man. And the problem I found was, fine, I done my workout. I got what I need to do, but the shit is still in my system, man. And I'm like,
You weren't sleeping for shit that night, mate.
right? So I'm like, when is this going to leave? So medically, what we call this is bioavailability and half-life. So when somebody comes in with an overdose, it's the same thing. We're trying to work out
What's the half-life between that and the end, and then figure out how much treatment they need to get them to the half-life quicker? Is that right? Or to get the body to process it quicker?
Well, it's more like if you've taken something, do I need to do anything? Is it already out your system? Right? Or how long do I need to monitor you for? That's what I'm trying to work out. When's the peak concentration?
Right, got it, yeah.
So I'm there like, oh my God, I'm so wired. Like, oh my God. Like, I'm just going to keep doing productivity. So that was my issue with pre-workout. So this young kid
If
comes
you take
in.
it first thing in the morning, though,
Yeah, I never. I mean, I don't
your
work out
day
anymore.
is off to a right kicker, man.
Right. Okay.
Straight up, your day is like bam, 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 bam. And
Spider-Man.
then come about 2 p.m, you're like,
Spider-Man.
you start flagging hard.
Yeah,
Because your heart's been like banging itself to death for like 8 hours,
You can't
man.
maintain it, man. You can't maintain it. And the only thing I'd compare it to, probably lesser degree, I think this would be my levels. There's that pre-workout I had. Then there's Red Bull, right? So Red Bull for me is, we're going on a stag or a boys trip. The lads are all drinking. We're going out at night. I need to stay awake. Obviously, don't drink Red Bull. One can of Red Bull takes me from 11
That's it.
p.m. to 6 a.m.
That's
I
it, done.
am wired, man. I can do bung it out all night. I can talk to girls. I can do whatever, man.
Talk to girls. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is this allowed? I don't know.
Yeah, look, you're not doing anything, but it's like, you got to have a bit of fun, man. Talking to dudes is boring, man.
Yeah, it's true.
So it's like, just chat to whoever's there on it. And yeah, so pre-workout, Red Bull. And then
Coffee.
I'd say everything else. Yeah, so my current kind of, I'm going to hit the gym is a double espresso. For me, I have enough kick 30 minutes before, gets in my system. I have a great workout.
I just have a
and
coffee.
out.
That's it. All I
If
have
I'm
is
black-
just like, I just have my normal coffee every day. I just have it at the beginning of the workout.
Fine.
And then I do it. Because if I have Red Bull or anything, it's too much caffeine
Yeah,
for
and
my
it goes-
body to process. And also, I need a shit in the gym, and I don't want to go for a shit in the gym. Coffee,
is,
I can hold it back a little bit. I'm like, you know what? I can handle this. Yeah. But man, if you take a Red Bull or a pre-workout before you go gym, and it's the second or third time your body's having it, it doesn't give you the same caffeine response anymore. It gives you like a close to it, but it gets less and less and less and less each
We
time.
call that habituation.
But
yeah.
your body's like, oh, I need to go for a shit more and more and more and more. So it doesn't balance out. It's like, it's not worth it. It's not worth it.
No, I went through that phase as well, where I was having to do a poo before working out, because there are some exercises where, and especially when we do power day,
Yeah.
and you're lifting heavy and you're really straining, you're like, my God, bad the nickel down. And if
Straight
a
up.
bad comes out, you think I'm going to follow through,
Yeah.
am I going to shot? Like this, big risk, man, big risk. So this young dude comes into A&E, right? And he's like, oh man, like, I can't breathe. And I've got chest pain and my heart's racing. I was speaking to this dude. And so if anybody
Was he in
comes
gym attire?
Hmm?
Was he in gym attire?
I mean, it's casual. It wasn't particularly. I didn't like gym gloves or anything, but like, no, I didn't have like Gymshark on or anything like that.
So did it make it obvious that he'd taken the pre-workout?
No. And the thing was, it wasn't today he'd taken it.
So shit.
It
Okay.
was a few days ago, and he was okay when he actually saw me. He was just, I've been having these symptoms. I thought I should get checked out rather than it's happening right now. And I was speaking to him, and if anybody comes in and they have palpitations, racing of the heart, then the things that come to mind are, so guys, things to think about: energy drinks, coffee, tea. I'm talking like if you're drinking more than 6-7 cups, that's enough, man. That will stimulate your heart. Have you got a thyroid issue, right? So having an overactive thyroid, very common condition, will make your heart race. Are you taking funny drugs? Obviously a question we need to ask. Is your heart rate going so fast that you're feeling dizzy and you're passing out? Big red flag. Is it happening when you're not doing anything or when you're doing something? So doing something means exertion.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, if you said to me, oh, my heart races a little bit and I'm not doing anything, I'm just typing on my laptop, I'm less concerned. But if you said to me, I'm at the gym and it comes on while I'm gymming, more concerned. That's what we call exertionally driven. Your heart is being stressed. It's coming on. I need to think about what's the etiology. Etiology means what's driving this? What's the cause of that? Okay. So then I speak to the dude and he's like, yeah. I'm just, I've been stagnant in the gym for a while. So I just want to kick it up a gear. So I start taking pre-workout. And he goes, but thinking he'd self-diagnosed. He was like, yeah, I realized these symptoms only happen when I take pre-workout. And I was like, bro, what's happening is your body is using that pre-workout, right? And you're getting a hyper-stimulated response. And it's just too much. It's too much, right? So you're getting palpitations. Your heart rate is going so fast. Think of it like, you've done a 100-meter sprint, but you're not doing anything. Your heart, you're just sprinting, but your body.
Yeah.
Like there was a test that we do. It's a bit of a side story here, but again, more about the heart. So if you come in, Indy, and you say, oh, I'm having chest pains all the time, right? One of the main concerns about chest pain is this the start of angina, blockages in your heart, which could precipitate a heart attack.
Yeah.
So then, well, how do we diagnose that? Well, we could do an ECG. The ECG might be completely normal. Okay, we could do a blood test looking for damage to the heart attack. That could be normal because you're not having a heart attack, but you could still have blockages. So how do I then look for the blockages in your heart? Okay.
Yeah.
3 ways of doing this. So one, I could stick you on a treadmill, put some ECG stickers.
Like how they do in films.
Yeah, it's real. It's called an ETT, exercise tolerance test. Basically, we stress you, and in the hope of stressing you, we're looking at ECG to see, are we now inducing angina?
Can I just pause you for 1 sec?
Go.
Every time I think of that test, I think back to the episode of The Simpsons where they got They got Mulder and Scully in, and then they put Homer on the treadmill,
right? And
they made him run with like the thing on.
Yeah.
And Mulder asked Scully, "Why are we doing this?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, I just thought he should lose some weight." Right? And I was like, every time I think of that test, I think of that scene from The Simpsons. I don't think of like a film. That's the first instance I had of it. I was like, oh, why do they do that? But in films, you're like seeing someone run like going for it, like fully fit, ripped, jacked to shreds. Yeah. And you look at Homer Simpson, right?
Yeah,
Big difference.
But those are the type of people, man. But there are people who are, their body habitus is so large that they're unsuitable for that test. So that's the first way of stressing the heart. Second way we stress the heart is we put a cannula in. We give you something called dobutamine. It's a drug, which makes your heart go. So what we're doing is so we're trying to mimic you being on the treadmill. Make the heart
without
go
making
fast.
you get on the treadmill.
Yep. And then see, does something happen? As in, do you start developing chest pain, number 1? And on the ECG, are we seeing areas of ischemia? So ischemia means there's a lack of blood supply going to that area, which again could precipitate heart attack. Third way, the most invasive way, is what we call an angiogram. Angiogram is where you take a wire in either the wrist or the groin while awake, so you have a bit of local anesthetic. Okay. When I say wire, as in what goes in, it just looks like a cannula. You don't see the wire. We feed the wire in. Okay. That goes into your heart.
So hang on, hold on. This wire's going through my fucking arm into my heart.
Yeah, or your groin.
No,
daddy, no.
I'm gonna hold on to something, man. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Are you mad?
Yeah.
Do you tell the person you're doing that?
Yeah. So with any procedure, whether it's a lumbar puncture or whatever it might be,
I'd rather run on the treadmill, mate.
No. This is the gold standard test. 'Cause remember, you should know, if somebody has a heart attack and we need to put a stent in, how do you think we get the stent there?
I thought you cut them open.
No, that's a bypass.
So how do you get a stent in there?
We pass it through there. We inflate it when it's inside. That's it. The person is awake. They watch their heart on the screen if they want to. So you pass the wire inside. You get into the artery.
If I ever needed motivation to get up and go to the gym in the morning, it's this. This conversation right here will make me go to the gym every fucking morning to not have this invasive procedure
Angiogram.
put in my arm or in my groin.
In your groin.
Jesus Christ. Okay, sorry, continue.
Yeah. So what we're doing here is direct visualization. We're looking inside the vessel to see is there a blockage, yes or no. So if somebody has a heart attack, they come in. We've diagnosed a heart attack based on the ECG, the blood test. Once we pass that wire in, the angiogram, if there is a blockage that is amenable to treatment, we can then pass a stent or a balloon to
Pops up, yeah.
Yes.
It inflates.
And therefore the blood flow improves. That's basically what we call PCI. That's the treatment for a heart attack. PCI stands for primary coronary intervention.
Going back to this guy.
Going back to this, I
What
said,
happens?
look, the problem here is, right, so this is a good segue into that. 95% of heart attacks are due to a blockage.
Yeah.
Right. But the other way to get a heart attack is if you mess with the supply and demand. So by that I mean, if I made your heart rate 300 beats a minute,
Is that possible?
it's not possible.
Okay, yeah.
Like 200, I can make it 200,
Okay.
240, right?
What's
There-
the max, FYI?
Generally, your max heart rate is 220 minus your age.
Okay.
It changes
Continue.
as
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
older, right? But if I make your heart rate really quick, eventually what will happen is there's not enough blood going to your own heart. The heart gives blood to itself. That's why you get a heart attack. It's the blood supply to itself that's the
Okay.
problem, right? So in that issue, there's no blockage. If I looked inside your vessels, there's no blockage, but you're going so fast that you can't get blood supply and demand. And I said to this dude, look, you're fine now, but there are people who have so much pre-workout that you can actually get a heart attack. And I think
Huh.
there was a case I read, I think an 18-year-old, a 19-year-old having so much pre-workout, he put his heart into that kind of supply and demand issue. So we call that a type 2 heart attack. A type 1 heart attack is the one we all know. It's the blockage problem. It's a big clot that breaks off. Blood can't get through, right? This is a supply and demand. The other way to induce is if I chop your arm off and you start bleeding out.
Yeah, your
right,
hemoglobin goes from...
down. Obviously, at some point you'll die. But in that period before you die, when it's low, again, there's now a supply and demand issue.
Mm-hmm.
There's no blockage in your arteries, but there's not enough blood going to your heart. Give you a heart attack. So the risks and perils of having too much pre-workout are one, because you're going so fast, your heart is going really, really fast, right? Obviously, it's trying to give you more blood and oxygen so you can work out. That's the kind of premise of it. It makes you really wired. If that's sustained too long, so like this guy, he obviously had a reaction to it. Not everybody's going to have the same thing. Then you can then develop chest pain and shortness of breath, right? Or you can go into a dangerous heart rhythm. So into something, what we call a SVT, supraventricular tachycardia. So something which is unregulated. So normally your heart is just, regular, right? And even if you run around, it goes fast, but it's regular. But if you go into this dangerous rhythm, then obviously other things can happen, and that can be the prerequisite to your heart stopping. So, and like I said, there has been that young case I read of a young person having a heart attack because of pre-workout. So just don't do it, man.
Don't take pre-workout. That's the summary.
You can take it, but just...
If you have a bad reaction,
Yeah,
don't
exactly.
do it again.
So each person is different. Be sensitive to your own body's needs. If it's, if the effects of the pre-workout are lasting hours and hours after you've done your workout, that's not a good thing. I even said to this guy, I was like, I remember a top level athlete asking him, a cyclist, this guy, right? And I was like, what do you do before you have a workout? He goes, 2 slices of bread, jam in the middle, kela, banana, that's it.
Bam,
He goes,
go.
Yeah, he goes, my banana is my slow acting release carb, and my jam and the bread is, the jam also is my quick acting effective. For me personally, it's that double espresso. For you, coffee. But yeah.
Jesus, man. If I've ever needed a reason to not take pre-workout, it's been given to me right there.
You want
And
a
hang on.
summary, or are you good?
But I think he gave one.
Good.
But did this guy not... Did he tell you how much he took?
No, it wasn't really relevant. Like,
He just took a normal amount.
yeah. I was like, dude, just relax. Nothing's gonna happen. Don't take it. Keep going to the gym. You'll make gains.
Slowly.
Get a PT. Yeah, exactly. Slowly. I mean, it's just educating people about
Don't
that.
tell me you gave your PT as like a card. That he...
No. He wasn't
Okay,
from around
jeez,
here. But I
thank
said, just if you want gains, get PT, man. Like, you want to learn something, find someone who can teach you and just get there quicker. You will get there eventually, maybe, But gym's an interesting thing, though. There are people in the gym who've been there 5-10 years, no progress, very little progress. It's like, fine, if you're doing it because, well, I don't know why you're doing it, but if you want results, accelerated results in anything in life, get someone to show you to do it.
Get a good PT, not any PT, a good PT.
Yeah.
And don't judge them by the before or after pictures. It's all bollocks, right? Anyway.
Like theirs or clients, you mean?
So when they give a client's one
Oh,
of
like
their
someone,
own,
yeah.
don't use that as like a indicator
Benchmark.
point of being good.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
doesn't work. I could take the top 1% of anything and just put that out and say, here you go. This is the best. It's the best I've done with someone. I'm like, great. What about the other 99%? What does that look like? Yeah, marketing. Anyway, conclude next segment. Okay, last segment is normally I have a question. Last week, Karan had a question. However, this week, our audience have questions because we asked them to sort of get engaged with us on Instagram. If you don't follow us, jump on Indian.Instagram. We put random polls out for people to participate in and ask us questions. So we got given a couple of questions. So let me jump on the first one and let me just find it right here. So here you go. Karan, question from Rani. Thank you for this, by the way, Rani. Appreciate your message. How do you deal with toxic family members? And I'm like, well, clearly you must mean Punjabi toxic family members. I got a few anecdotes. I'll let you go.
You want me to
first.
start? Okay.
Yeah, go on.
Like there is, sorry.
Lovely.
There is so much here we can unpack.
Yeah.
Right. Like this is a whole episode in itself, man. I'm really glad, Rani, you've brought this up because again, it's probably one of those things that's not really spoken about in public, platforms, especially amongst the Punjabi community. Probably one of those things that kind of just said, you should keep it in your house or behind closed doors or not even mention it at all. That kind of tends to be the party line. So toxic family members. So first it's like, what is the definition of a toxic
Don't give me the
member?
dictionary one. It's simple, man. Toxic is like whatever you perceive to be harming your mental health. That's it. Done.
Fine. I like that definition.
That's it. Simple.
That's good.
Plain and simple.
And then I guess it depends on, how close are we talking in terms of toxic family members? Are you talking about the people that are living in your
Is
house?
it your siblings or something? Yeah.
Right? Because
Or parent.
yeah, exactly. Because if you've got somebody who's kind of not in your space all the time, it's like, well, how do you work out a way of not being around them? So physical distancing I would say, is the first kind of barrier.
Yeah.
Second thing is, it's when you're around such people, so you're at social occasions, so you have to be around them. How can you limit the amount of conversation you're having with them?
Mm-hmm.
Also, what I have found in my experiences, people just have their own agenda, right? And sometimes it's not even about you, the problem. They just have their own shit they're trying to deal with. Well, they don't realize they have shit to deal with. They then end up projecting it out, which comes out as vile, vulgar behavior, basically being mean or abusive or whatever that might be.
Yeah.
And you've really got to get to a point where you kind of pity these people and be like, do you know what? Your life is that bad that this is what you have to do. I'm really, really sorry for you.
You do that. Yeah. I think that's fair. But actual actionable shit, if you want to just go on the back of that. So you said go to a social occasion and limit the contact you have with them. I tend to try and find a buddy. So someone that I can lean on when things are getting uncomfortable, give them a signal and then jump out and pull out of the conversation.
That's a really good one.
If you need them to help you. If your whole entire family is toxic, do the best thing you can and don't go. That's the best advice I can give. Don't go to someone else's house. Don't be around the house when something's happening. That's one way of dealing with it.
Yeah, I'm gonna caveat that as well, guys. It's obviously life is gonna throw lots of uncomfortable situations.
Yeah,
and
it is. Yeah.
This obviously could be family, but you could have work scenarios where people are gonna be confrontational. Okay, people may talk some shit about you, may call you out on stuff, which could be completely kind of untrue or whatever. You will have to deal with this. So sometimes, yes, it's right not to put yourself in a situation, i.e. don't go to that social event. But there are going to be scenarios where you'll have to deal with it. So having a good mechanism to deal with it, like Indy said, the buddy system is a good one there.
Buddy system works, man. Trust me.
That's really
underrated.
Good. The other thing is, what I have found is, look, the more kind of uncomfortable situations you are in or have had to be in, you will work out ways to navigate those situations and conversations, right? And there are ways just to, not give people kind of the time of day, not really feed into. If they're trying to trigger you and trying to get reaction, that's what I have found most.
That's what you do to me.
What?
Try and trigger me.
Yeah, from a funny point of view. I mean, yeah.
But I notice it, and I know exactly what you're doing, and I still play up to it. So I can only imagine.
Oh, yeah.
I can only imagine how it feels to someone to not want to have to give that response, and they still give it because they can't help themselves.
It's about the intention, isn't it? Obviously, when I do it with you, I know exactly what.
Yeah,
I'm doing.
I know.
Exactly
I just thought
trying to
I'd
get a
add that in.
reaction. Yeah. But if someone's malicious, right, and they're really just trying to get under your skin, getting you to kind of lose your shit.
Yeah.
Then and like one thing which has really worked well for me is humbling yourself in that situation. A lot of time people want to talk about how great they're doing and this and this. Like, I'm really happy for you. That's it. End of conversation.
Or I saw one thing that Tom Segura said, who's a comedian that I like following. He just says, I'm at a point in my life where I ain't got time for shit. So he says, I just agree with whatever that other person says. Wow, Shindy, man. Wow. Thank you for that. With your lovely background sound.
This one.
Oh, wait, is it you?
Yeah.
Thank you for that, doctor, for not muting your flipping laptop.
I don't know how to do that.
No, shut up, man. Yeah. Sorry, Shindy. I apologize. Thank you. Anyway, back to the point.
Go.
What the fuck was I saying? Oh, yeah. Tom Segura.
Yep.
So he said, I just get to a point where I disagree with the person. He says, no matter how stupid their statement is, you just say, I agree.
In one side.
And then what that does is that triggers them because they're not getting the response out of you that they want. That's one way of dealing with it. So you can try and do the psychological warfare if you have it in you. If you don't, get out of the situation. Don't be a part of it. If you're at home and all this is happening to you with your own family members, you got to probably look at moving out, man, genuinely. Or go to like an uncle or a aunt or whoever you trust and lean on them to try and be a mediator, or maybe try and potentially move in with them. I know it sounds really basic, generic shit, but sometimes that might be available
physical
to you.
Space, yeah. Because
if you're an adult as well, you can move out. There's no harm. Your parents can't hold you hostage. If you're an adult and you're not enjoying things, you just move out, man.
And again, the caveat to that, and I say this to young people a lot, is look, there are points in your life where you're dependent, right? So we're growing up, mum and dad pay the bills, feed us, clothe us, right? As we get older, there should be a push from ourselves to become independent.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I say to a lot of people is make sure you're working on yourself, that you're growing up to be a strong, confident person who is independent as they can be.
Yeah.
Because if shit does hit the fan, so from this example, toxic relationship, then you can stand on your own 2 feet. I think I used to say to, again, younger people, this thing from Nelson Mandela, the greatest weapon you have in the world, the greatest weapon you have in the world is in education.
Yeah.
And it's just, look, it just opens doors, means you can stand on your feet. Like Indy said, if you haven't got finances that allow you to move out, then you're going to be trapped in whatever situation you're in. If you depend on someone, you're going to be trapped. So as much as you can, focus on building that independence, being a confident person. Here's another good thing. Form a social group in which you are comfortable being your authentic self. Oh my God, I haven't said authentic self for a long time.
Hell, it's been a while.
It's been a while, hasn't it, right? The podcast has moved on, but
congratulations.
That's really
I'm proud of
important.
you, Karan,
the older I get, right, I realize that whatever I thought I used to be before, whatever subconscious, unconscious bravado facade I put on, you can't maintain that. And you don't need to just be around people where you are comfortable, and seek those people out. And when you find them, really cherish those relationships and put the time, effort, and energy into those, rather than these. And they always say that about friends and family, isn't it? Like your blood, you can't really choose. You're given family whether they are. You kind of got to deal with it. We know in all families there are always going to be dickheads. All families have that, right? But just do what you can to limit that interaction. I found that as I got older.
Yeah.
And we've built our own networks and we're doing our own things and your own projects. And actually, the amount of time I see people, some people I don't want to see is, I don't know, it's like a few times a year.
Pretty much.
Right. And those toxic people, I was like, I can deal with that. That's not a big issue.
But if it's in your day-to-day, it's a different life. So
absolutely.
I hope this helped, genuinely. If not, there's always people you can reach out to in your world that maybe can relate to what you're going through. And they have tips as well with how they can handle things. Every family's got their own issues and people that are just horrible. Every family has it. Don't think you're like exempt. Everyone's got shit. Everyone shits. Everyone sleeps. Everyone eats. We're all the same. We're all twisted in our own way. That's simply how life is. So what we've got to do is sit here and think, I'm not the only person going through this. How do I handle this? If I can't think of a rational way, let me reach out to someone that I think can give me good advice to work through this as well.
I like that last point there. If anybody is dealing with this, reach out and speak to someone. Getting objective advice will help you, just because you'll be able to talk through the situation,
Yeah.
get it out of your head, look at it, and then it's what are the options? What can I do in the situation? Remember, focus on things you can control, not what you can't control. So if you're in a position where, for example, you can't move out right now, okay, so what are the steps I can take that's going to get me closer to do that
position?
Right? So focus on what's right in front of you. And look, if there's any follow-up on this and you have any more specific questions about this, please reach out with another question. I'm more than happy to deep dive on this.
Sweet. Happy? Content? All right. Other question from Bao, who's been on the podcast before.
Your brother.
Yeah. Yes.
I know he's been on the podcast before. Yeah, your brother.
From Bao, yeah. Is studying medicine overrated at university?
Obviously, my opinion is obviously quite biased.
Yeah.
I think we were pre-discussing this question before, and I guess
it can be split in many ways. So how do you want to split it?
Go on. If you ask the question, then I'll answer it.
That's the question. I'm leaving it open-ended to see where you want to take it, and then I'll take it somewhere else.
Yeah, like I said, obviously I'm biased. I'm always going to say it's not overrated. All I will say is, in a world that we live in now, where there's a big push for nomadic lifestyles, freelancing, working from home, there's no end to the ways you can make money, right? And I'm a big proponent of lifestyle first. So even though I'm a doctor, it's like, how does my medicine fit within my life, not my life within medicine? Whereas when we were going, through med school and all that kind of stuff, it's all about, this is going to be your life, da da da. I see people who are burning out. I burnt out, and the reason for that is you just do too much of it. But if you love what you do and you want something you enjoy, then medicine is still that career for you. Now that I've designed a way where I don't practice medicine full time, I fully enjoy that diagnostician house kind of element.
Yeah.
Love it. So I wouldn't say it's overrated. I just say, what I would say is, yes, there are plenty of ways and plenty of things, especially for brown kids, that they can pursue and make a life and career about. The respect, the izzat, as we say in Punjabi, that you still get from doing certain professions. And I think that there is a differentiation. I was talking to my sister about this, about having a job and having a profession. They're two different things. So there are certain, and we say profession with a capital P. Apparently this is an expression. Again, Jazz, my sister, was telling me about this. So lawyer, doctor, dentist, pharmacist. There are certain things which are, they just have weight to them. And they're considered professions.
True, but you're thinking of someone at the pinnacle. Going through that journey to be it can be horrible.
Pinnacle meaning?
For example, now...
Pinnacle meaning?
Someone who's made it towards the end of all their training, all their work, and they're on like a good whack of money, yeah?
Okay.
Fair to say? Okay, so taking a step back, recommending someone to be a doctor now, in today's world, in the UK, with how bad the NHS is at the moment, with how lack of support it is, how underfunded it is, how just genuinely difficult it is to go through your years of learning, then trying to implement it in rough environments. That is, I can see why someone would say it's now overrated compared to what it was when, say, you were training and things were bad then. And I imagine they're probably worse now for someone to go into and try and navigate.
Potentially, I think this is the age-old argument. I think it's all relative, isn't it? When we speak to our consultants, they're like, yeah, when we went through this, we didn't have this, and you guys have so much more than we had, and why are you complaining? Like, this is just a thing that gets talked about every single day.
It does, but what they fail to see, and this goes back to the age-old idea, is what they had back then was sufficient enough for them to live off in the world that had been created. So 20k back then and 20k now is not the same. Inflation has taken things way above. So I saw this graphic the other day showing a person in, I think it was like the 80s or 70s, if they were on 20k and to be able to buy a house, I think it was like 60k. You would need to get a house.
Times, yeah.
So it's like 3 times, which makes sense. Nowadays, if you're on 20k, the average house value is in the hundreds of thousands, probably 200,000 above, maybe.
So 10 times.
Yeah. That's not a fair comparison. So when they say, oh, back in my day, back in your day, you could buy 10 yards and no one would fucking say anything and it'd be okay. For even someone in their 20s or 30s now to buy a house is very difficult.
Very difficult. Yeah.
It is not straightforward. So I hate that argument whenever old people say, oh, back in my day. I'm like, live in our day now, jump down the brackets, don't have a house, start again, tell me how you fare.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. And that's a very good point, just about the housing point. I had a friend recently, he's a barrister, his son is interested in studying medicine. He reached
Yeah.
out to me, he was like, can you have a chat with him?
Let me try and find that graphic, but yeah, go on.
Okay. And he was like, what is it like? And I said, look, studying medicine is really fun. The studying element, you're right. Studying element, practicing medicine, two different things.
Here it is.
Go.
Buying a house in the 90s, yeah.
Yeah.
57,
Yeah.
756 was the 90s average house price. If you were on 20k, 3 times. Now, average house price in your 20s, 237k, earning 37k. That's how much an average person is in their 20s.
So it's gone up by 17,000. Your earning capacity.
So your earning capacity has gone up by 17,000. Your housing capacity has gone up by 200k. Boom. Point proven. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway,
Which is,
sorry. So you were talking to your friend.
Yeah, it's a friend's son. And I just said, medicine it's enjoyable to learn because when you're learning something, the responsibility is on the learning. Responsibility is not on service provision. You come out the other side, it's all service provision.
Yeah.
Learning is like, you can do it if you want. You're expected to do it. You're supposed to show it in your CPD, but the time to do it and the energy and the headspace virtually non-existent. A lot of jumping through holes when you come out as a doctor. And all I can say is, look, medicine is not designed to be practiced 5 days a week, man. It's not. If you want good workers who turn up and put in their all and want to improve the system, right? Like, so I go to work, I want to help people, I want to do things, but I want to improve the system I'm working. I want to upskill my staff. I want to make sure, why are we doing this and this when we could just do this? Whereas a lot of people come in, they do this shit. It's not my problem. I want to go home. And it's
but that's how you cope in that environment.
Right, and that's
it's
it.
worn you to that point where you get
they
like
don't care. It's not because they don't care.
Go on, Karen. I'll charge you.
It's not because they don't care. It's more because they've just been burnt out to that point. And that's what's got them there. So it's just, and I think I said to him, I said, look, you can have that career that you want, but you have to be so intentional about designing it. Right?
Yeah.
The only way to get to that level is you have to have tremendous value.
Yeah.
Other than that, you're just going to be another cog in the wheel, and you're going to complain, you're going to moan, you're going to get, dejected. And that's why I do say, look, there are other ways to make the money. So unless you really enjoy the game.
But how are you going to know unless you get into that game?
Exactly. This is just hard, which is why I said...
So you probably have to shadow someone in the real world for like a month solid and then be able to see
minimum.
it. Which I don't know. Are you able to do that? Can you have someone shadow you on like a medical ward that's not medically qualified at all?
Yeah. So we did it. We had work experience. The problem was the work experience we did back then wasn't really focused on what will my life look like. It was like helping give patients food. It was a bit like a DOS, and we missed like a week of school.
No, fuck that. I want you to be like, this is the trenches, this is what I deal with.
But it wasn't framed, right? So no one framed it to us.
Yeah.
So whoever was there was still on that kind of prestige hype. Yes, there is respect in the community, but that respect does not pay your bills. Respect doesn't...
respect and putting food on your table, man. Respect and sorting out your mental health either. Or your sense of fulfillment or purpose.
Yeah, the fulfillment purpose, I think, does come from medicine. Again, if you
enjoy it. I'm pulling it back to the enjoyment factor. If you don't enjoy it, none of those other things, respect, etc. Then it all dwindles.
Then don't do it. I mean, 100%. The thing I say to parents now is, don't make them doctors because you think it's cool and whatever. Yes, there's always going to be a job for them, profession for them, always.
Yeah,
that's good. Okay, security in that.
Yeah,
but develop other interests, side hustles, be entrepreneurial. These are the prerequisites, I would say.
So I think that is important. And let us know if you think of anything different below in the comments. Shout us and let us know if you disagree with any of this. I'm open to any thoughts. Mm-hmm. But my thoughts are, look at what there's a shortage in at the moment. Go and do that. So in the world right now, there is a shortage in certain skill sets in marketing. Go and learn it. Go and do that. Bam. Sorted. There's a shortage in plumbers based in the UK. Okay. There's a shortage in electricians in the UK. Go and learn that. Go and do it. Bam. I'm like, I'd rather do that than go to university. If I had a kid now that was going into being like 16, 17, 18, I'd say go and learn a skill of either manual labor or go and learn a skill online, digitally, properly. Go and reach out to a number of agencies, ask to shadow, ask to learn, go and do it for free for like a summer. See how you like it. See if you can enjoy it. See if you can see yourself doing it. If you can't, go and try and shadow and do something else. Because at the end of the day, if you're finishing school and you've got your A-levels, your parents are going to be okay to support you for a certain period of time to go and try these things. Because at least you're trying. You're not sitting at home doing fuck all, right? Or if you want to make TikToks in your spare time or do Instagram and you've got a really creative mind, go and do it. Go and make content for people. Approach them. Ask them how things work. Ask them what they want. Everything's on YouTube. Go and figure shit out. Like, the world's different compared to what it used to be. So I see why people are more inclined to do entrepreneurial shit compared to what they were doing way back in the day. Life is not the same. Everything's changed because of the internet.
There are, that's it. And that's that one word, the internet,
Yeah.
man. There is a video I saw the other day of a YouTuber, right? And he was just sharing his income and views. And he was just saying, look, average video will get, I don't know, 250,000 views. And I think he peaks about 750,000 daily income based on that after doing YouTube for 4 years.
Yeah.
Okay. I think $5,000-6,000 a year. So 1 year he showed the income was just shy of 2 mil.
Yeah.
And lifetime he's approaching 4 mil. This is the world we live in, man. This is ad revenue. You're not even selling anything.
And that's why people want to do YouTube and stuff, because they see it as a way out. God.
It's a real thing, man.
They see it as like a real world opportunity that they can go and do.
Coming back
if they enjoy it.
If they enjoy it,
Don't go chasing the money because that's available. That's one thing that I struggled to get to grips with at school for years. When you had to sit there and go through that fucking careers assessment, and they're sitting there saying, what do you want to be? I don't know. Go through this questionnaire of like possible careers. And the one that came out was like, I don't know, essentially with housing.
Geography teacher.
And I was like, I wish. It was like housing. I was like, I don't know shit about housing. Like, where did this come from? Like, oh, but you earned this much. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm interested. But I'm like, hang on. No, I shouldn't be interested because of the money. I should be interested because I actually enjoy it. And I don't know if I enjoy it unless I go and do it. So there's this real like disconnect between school and going into the real world.
There's a great clip I saw the other day about it's from Gary Vee. I haven't seen his content in a while. I was flicking.
I thought you stopped consuming this content.
But this clip is really good. He makes a really good point.
Yeah.
And he was like, advice to parents basically, and it was about pursuing things. And he goes, look, and he used Friends as an example. He goes, if you watch Friends every single day, you love it, you know all the lines.
Yeah.
He goes, start creating something about that. Start a talk show, a podcast. And he goes, eventually, if you love doing it, you can create an income based on it, but you have to be really good at the shit that you love.
Yeah.
That's the caveat, right? You can do any of these things, these creative entrepreneurial things, but you have to be so good.
You could start a TikTok now, right, of doing Friends impressions and reenacting the whole scene and just make it a little bit funnier.
Right.
With like really bad wigs, really bad glasses, stupid overreacting. Like, you could do that if you want to. That's you reliving a really good memory, doing things that you really enjoy, and also feeling attached to it still, freshening it up and making it into the real world. That's cool. People would consume that and be like, oh, I remember that. Or you could dub over the original and the current one and like a snapshot cut and do that. Like, there's loads of ways you can do it. And I'm just thinking, like, if you really enjoy that, go and do it. Fucking hell, man. I'm wearing a Pokemon top. If I could go and be a Pokemon trainer now and like make content about it, that'd be great.
Coming back to the original thing we said, Endgame, podcast, Indy doing it full time.
I told you this is what I want to do full time. This is my dream. Doing it,
I'd
love to do
full-time,
this.
But being there with you.
What's it again?
Me doing it not full time.
You'll do it full time.
If we travel the world, we get live shows. I still do a bit of medicine, do all the other things I want to do.
We said at the beginning of this podcast, I warmed you up to all these things, and now you're making the goal so far into the distance that it's unobtainable.
Why is it unobtainable?
Let me get to like doing this full time first, then we can go and do that. My goal is full time.
Yeah.
My goal is full time. When I'm there, arenas, whatever, fucking yeah, cool.
Fine.
Right?
But my point is the same. It's you've got to commit to it. That's what we're doing. Put in the time, effort, and energy. You've got to go for it, right?
Yeah.
So that's it. Yeah, you're right. The world, the end point, summary point here is the world is different. There are skills now which are more valued than they were before. Coding is one that's talked about all the time. Learning how to invest. Like, there's so much of this shit, right? When people are young, yes, don't make the default, go to university, learn skills, get around the right people, expose yourself to lots of things, so basically get lots of feedback. Do I like it, don't like it, do I like it, don't like it. Just keep testing. You need lots of testing, lots of feedback, and then you'll work out the thing that is your thing.
And the earlier you start testing, the earlier you can figure out what you actually like, and then the sooner you can make money doing something you enjoy.
Ikigai.
That is the key thing.
Ikigai.
That's it.
Right? Your reason to be. What can I be paid to do that aligns with what I love, what I'm good at, and what the world needs? That's it.
That. Yeah. All right. People, thank you for joining. Catch you next week. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Much love. Much appreciation. We'll do another one in person soon. Catch you later. Bye-bye.